the Solar Service app. And pretty much all the functions you're doing on Solar Service app, you'll now do on the new app. Chasen is going to be assisting me today. He's kind of running the screen, and as I talk through some things, he will move through the screen, move the cursor, so you can hopefully get a pretty good understanding of what we're doing. And once we're done, you're going to have an opportunity to ask some questions. Let's see. Okay, first thing, let's just get started and look at the screen right now. What it shows is a log-on screen. So what you would normally do is you would log on with your email address and then your last 4 digits of your Social Security number. But for training purposes, we're logging in as CHS1 in Charleston, and then 1234 is the PIN. All right, once you log in, it goes, it's going to go straight to your route. There's a message, and this is going to pop up throughout the training, and it basically is just reminding everyone, this is a warning that we're in the dev version of SRPm. The orders will not be submitted. So this is a test app, a test version of what you'll be using in the stores, and works the same way. So I have to excuse a few of the little glitches as we go back and forth, and we're getting rid of some warning messages and that type of thing. But go ahead, click OK. All right. So I think the first thing we want to do is just to do a brief run through of what we're looking at. There's 3 main points that you'll be using for action of one sort or another. In the top left corner, it says My Route, and right there where he's, click on that. That is your main navigation drawer. That's kind of a main menu to everything that you do. If you back out of that, you look in the top right corner, there's another menu bar. And depending on what area we go into, there will always be a menu bar for that section. And so you can see when on that drop-down menu and kind of look over to the stores how things are divided up. So it shows you the stores that you're doing in order today. It shows you next week. But also, as you scroll down, you can see all the stores in order. But you can see you can't change the order of stores, but you can change how you view some things in that top right menu. Okay, let's go back up to the main navigation bar. Okay, and let's just look at a few things. The first one is where it says route. If you tapped on that, it takes you directly back to your route right there. Let's go back to the menu. The next thing down is support. And just want to run through a few of these things. The first thing there, printer setup. This is where you pair your printer to your phone. The next thing down is the barcode scanner setup. This is something that we're not going to use, but the Utah division, PUGS folks have a scanner that they use. So that's just something won't really apply to us. The next thing down is data synchronization status. And with this, if you open it up and look, this is where you get new data from downloads. You can, the bottom right-hand corner, you can click the green action button in order to sync, and it'll pull in new information. Okay, the next, we'll go back. The next thing is order submission status. So this would show any orders that you have placed today. They'll show up here. The next section is configuration info. So here, if you have any problems with your device and you got to call IT, you may need to give them specific info on your device. It shows who you're logged in as, what version of the application that you have, and then specific device info. Okay, let's back out of that. And then back out of that, and let's go to the daily summary. So we're just kind of working our way down, and you'll see, we'll come back to this later. But with this daily summary, it shows you a list of stores that you have visited today, a list of orders that you have placed today. SBT, a list of SBT done today. We do have customers like Parker's, we've got Circle K that are SBT. So the invoices you do in orders will be placed, will show up in that section. And then the last one is collections. So you have a list of collections that have been done today, where if it's a cash customer, and you're picking up cash or check, those will all show up in that section. Let's go back to the main navigation menu. Okay, and these next things we'll get into in some more detail later. But just briefly, this section has everything to do with your inventory. So in sellable inventory, this will show all that NetSuite thinks that you have in your inventory. If you would just click on that one, the sellable inventory. When you get into that, okay, we'll get into a little more detail, but it shows you a lot of information here. But as he just alluded to at the bottom, it shows what you have in your current inventory. There's 19 products, 3,704 items, $31,330 of inventory. That is the main navigation bar. It will always show up on the screen, so you can always go back to it. And in the top right is your sellable inventory menu. And there's a lot of things that you can do here. You can transfer merchandise from you to another person. You can place an order here. You can check in an order. You can print. And then also there are options to sort what you're looking at and how it's presented. So let's go back. All right, let's go ahead and go into, let's see. Let's go to the first store. Yeah, so you've got a warning message we're going to get out of. And so the first store on the route is Scotchman 3165. All right, let's do an invoice. The first thing, we mentioned there's kind of three things you can use. On the top left is the main navigation menu, and the top right is the menu for that section. And then the bottom right is your main, it's the green action button, and that's used for all kinds of things. So one thing I want you to look at real quick is if you were to tap on the first store, Scotchman 3165, it gives you information about the store, the address and everything, but you'll notice there's no action involved. So we want to hide that. So to go to the first store, you would click on the green action button, bottom right. Okay, so what are we looking at here? It shows you the store that we're in, Scotchman 3165. Right there in the middle, it says waiting for arrival. Now, right now it shows the distance from the store is 1,459 miles. So typically you would be at the store, and when you show up, it's going to tell you that in the middle there that you have arrived at the store. So also at the top, you can navigate to the store using this. So he tapped on that, and it will open up Google driving directions to the store that you could use. Okay, well, so we'll go ahead and, yeah, so that'll get started. You can follow that to your store. So let's back out of that. Okay, well, a couple of things here that he's doing just for the training. There's no barcode scanner. He's just got to get back into what we're doing. So we're going to that first store. Okay, also in the top right corner, you click on that menu. There's some options here. Override GPS and skip store visits. So we're just going to, because we're not at the store, we're going to override the GPS. Okay, and then he's putting in a reason, and it's just training, and go ahead and green action button. All right, so if you look at this screen, what are we looking at? There are two things that we have to complete in order to finish service on the store. One is DSD service. And then the second thing is income cards. So let's go ahead and click on DSD. Okay, so here it shows the amount of time that you've been in the store. In the invoice, so far it's 30 seconds. The longer we go, the more that increases. It shows the address to the store. And also one thing there, it shows you under deliveries is that it's a charge, an account charge. If it was a cash customer, it would show up as cash. Then there's credits, no product needed, and we'll come back to that later, and then where you would collect payments. So let's go into deliveries. Okay, there it shows your invoice number. Sometimes you need to give that to the customer when you're checking in, and there you go. So far it shows that no products have been entered. It says tap the plus button to begin adding products. In the bottom right, there's the green action button. So we're going to do the plus, and it gives you some options here. So the first one, there's different ways you can enter information. You can do it by SKU. You could do it by UPC. Obviously, we don't use that much, but you may be doing some novelty items, and you got a barcode with UPC, but you don't have an item like a SKU number, so you could enter it there. Let's see. I can't see the screen very well, but the next one, okay, that one has to do with the scanner, and we don't use that. That's the PUG's Utah division scanner. The next thing down that you would use a lot is a camera. So you're going to be able to highlight the item, take a picture, and it would populate and give you that item. You can enter items by name. And I cannot see the last one. I don't know what that says.
The last one is POG. That's utilized mainly by the Utah division. I believe the Solary division will also be adapting this method going forward. Yeah,
so that'd be great. Once we get the POGs, our planograms that are put into the system, you'll be able to refer to that when picking out items. So let's go ahead and start bringing in some items. Let's do it by, we'll do SKU. All right, so maybe we'll just grab, we need to, the Polly's Lolly, let's sell in 2 of those. So click on that item, you move. You'll notice this little wheel that turns. You can add quantities, and I don't think you can do it on this training, but you're going to be able to suppress and hold down the number button, and then you can add, if you needed to add 24 items, you could go right to just keying in 24 instead of having to scroll down to 24. So let's go ahead and add 2. Let's see, click the plus sign, and I tell you, let's do it by name. I can't remember that item. Let's key in micro. I need a micro USB cable. So there you can see it populates everything that would say micro in the description. And the first item, the micro USB cable 40737 is what we want. So go ahead and tap that, and let's add 2. Okay, and then let's go back to SKU. And let's key in 41028. Okay, and let's sell in 6 of those. All right, we're going to add that. Okay, so now we're finished with everything we're going to bring into the store. And so, that if you needed to make a change, you could delete an item. And you could certainly go in, tap on each one. You could change the quantities as needed, but I think we're done. Yeah, you see right there, you could change it. So let's back up the top left-hand corner. When you go there, notice under deliveries / invoice that there is a gray circle with the 1. So that shows that we have a one order that's in process. If it was completed, it'll show up green. So it's one that's been completed. I'll tell you, let's go ahead and we got some things that the managers brought to our attention we need to credit out. Let's do some credits. Okay, you see there's the credit number. we're going to select the green action button and start entering items. So tap on the green plus sign.
I just wanted to add a comment that
Yes.
this green plus sign, it will default to the last used. So if you continually use SKU, you'll notice that when we come back here, SKU is listed right here at the top, and you can just click on it to go to SKU, because we know that you guys often use the same input method every time.
Yes. Yeah, and mainly it's going to be SKU and it's going to be the camera. But if we don't know, I think, yes, the third usage would probably be by name. So, all right, then let's go to SKU. And let's go down to the second item, the pecan log. We need to credit out 2 of those. Okay, let's go back in to SKU and let's add another item. Let's do that, the travel pillow right there. Yep. We got 1 travel pillow to credit out. So let's add it. Okay, that's all the credits that we have for this store. So we're going to back up. If you'll notice, next to the credits, you also have a gray circle with a 1 that tells you that we have created a credit. It has not been completed yet. That's important to note. All right, I want to do something here before we go further. You guys, it's easy to make mistakes. Sometimes you're pulling a lot of merchandise. You go to your truck, you're pulling the items, you get in the store and realize, man, I forgot something, whatever. But let's do a check-in ticket right here. So go to the top right-hand corner, and you see there's a picture of a truck. And you'll notice on this, it shows a pick ticket. And it shows items that are being invoiced in, and then all the ones that are being credited. So at this point, you could go to the bottom right corner and the green action button, and you can print. So click on print. And we don't have a printer set up today, but this is where you would.
I actually do.
Oh, we do? Cool.
I do. I have one of your new Zebra 520 printers, and it is very nice.
Yes, it is. All right. All right. So we're going to wait for that to print. Okay, print is successful. So go back to the top left and back up. All right, so after we go to the truck, we're pulling product, we got everything we need, we bring it into the store. So now we need to complete the invoice. So in order to complete the invoice, you have to actually approve the items. So yeah, right there in the bottom right is, anytime we do an action, we go to that green action button. So click on that, and it shows you a preview of the incoming items and how there's 2 polys lollies, 2 micro USB cables, there's 6 8-pin chargers. So as you approve them, you could click on like one item and approve that one. If you found a mistake, you can certainly, we don't have to do this now, but you could back up, you can make a correction or whatever. Or you could select all at the top right, and you approve all of them. Another option there, I believe, is that if you were just to click on any one of the items listed and suppress it and hold it down, that approve all will also come up, and you can click it, and then it'll approve all the items. So do we want to approve all the items? Yes, we do. Okay, so the next thing, we want to move forward. Let's go to the green action. And now it shows credits. We need to approve those items. Let's just go ahead and approve all. Yes, approve all. All right. Those have turned green. So now we want to print a check-in, and there's 2 options here. You could just print a check-in ticket without UPCs, or you can print one with UPCs. And we know that a lot of our customers like and need those UPCs, so there's a great option right there. Okay, let's go to the green action button and move forward. Okay, and then those are the credits. We're going to, those have been approved. And so let's check that one on the bottom right.
So this screen is the restock functionality. If you want to bring some of these credits into your inventory to resell, you can click on one, and you'll notice you'll have two dials, which ones are going back to warehouse and which ones you want to restock into your own inventory. You'll notice that the items adjust. If I switch to one, it'll balance out which one's going to warehouse, which one's going to restock.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for catching that and showing everybody how that works. Okay. So you'll notice that gray button that popped up, and he clicked that one now. So that's been, we sent an item back to restock, and one of them we're just leaving in returns. So we're done. Now we're going to do the green action button. Check that. Okay. So now we're on a summary screen and payment. You can see at the top, your invoice is for $69.40. Your credit is $10.55. So the net total is $58.85. So this is a charged customer down at the bottom. The form of payment automatically defaults to the account charge. And if it was a cash customer, you would have the option of receiving cash or receiving check. So this is an account charge. Let's go ahead and green action button. Okay, and here the customer would type in their name and then sign right there. Okay, now we're just going to approve it. Okay, and the orders were approved. Okay, so now it's time to print. So once it's approved, we want to print and click on the green action button there. And we're going to print as many copies as the customer needs. They need 2. So we're going to print 2 copies.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear the printer printing, but you'll notice it will pause in between your copies so you can tear them off and hand them to the customer.
Oh, great. Okay, so now we're going to back up and back up again. And you'll notice the deliveries and the credit show as being completed. Let's back up one more time. Now, before we can finish the store, you'll see that we've completed DSD service, but we have not serviced income cards. So you need to do that before you leave. You're required to do that. So let's click on the income cards. Okay, now just so you see, it shows like an income number. It shows also that there's no products that have been entered. Then it says tap the plus button to begin adding products. Let's just do that really quick. Tap on the plus button, and then by name. All right, so you'll see that are preloaded for that type of store. It shows everything that could be put into that planogram, that store. So you could scroll up and down and pick whatever item that you want. And then, and it's not an order, it's a recommendation to income on what they need to order. So you make your recommendation, put it in. Let's go ahead and just back up right here though. And they don't need any cards, so we're going to just tap on no product needed. And it says, do you really want to send no product needed message? Yes, send no product needed. Okay, so it says income order request was queued. So that's been completed. Now back up. Okay, exit before printing. Yes, let's go ahead, and we did not want to print anything for income. So you see the income is completed. DSD service is complete, and now you're done with the store. So let's hit the backup. It says, are you done servicing Scotchman 3165, and do you want it closed? Yes, let's close it. Okay, we're in training mode. Just click OK. Okay, so we're going to go to the second store. So yeah, you go ahead and hit the action button. Now we just arrived at the store, and once we get into the store, we realize that the store is doing an inventory audit. So we are going to show you how to skip service. At the top right, it shows that you could skip the store visit. There's really only two options. It's either skip the GPS or skip service. So the reason we're just going to put is inventory audit and green action button. And you'll see now the first store shows that it was completed and it's green. Skip stores always show up yellow. Okay, let's continue to the third store, Spinks 351. Green action button, and you see now we're at Spinks 351. We're going to override the GPS because we're pretending that we're there. Why did we override? For training. Okay, in just a moment. All right, from here, we're going to show you how to do no product needed. So occasionally we go to a store that does not need product. It might be an independent store that's really small and they say, no, I don't want anything. As we know, there's very few times that we do this because we fill every hole every time. And so we love those $10 invoices. It's much better than nothing. But in this store, we are going to, they don't need any product. They're refusing service. So go ahead and tap on no product needed. And you see a message comes up. Do you really want to send no product needed message? Yes, send the message. Okay, so you can see that DSD service has been completed, but Incom has not. So we still need to do something there and tap on Incom cards. And the store did not need any cards today, so let's tap on no product needed. Okay, so let's now back up and all right, then let's back up one more time. Do you want to close the store? Yes. Okay, so you can see we've now been to 3 stores. Third store didn't need anything. But the second store has called and said, hey, we're through with our inventory audit and you can come back now. So we're going to travel back to that store and we want to show you how to reopen a store and do service. So previously when we tapped on a store, you could see that there's no action that would occur. It's only, it says basically it'll give you some information but then hide. And so the only action is at the bottom right. But once the store is skipped, you can go back, tap on the store in the bottom right hand corner. It says reopen visit. So let's go ahead and reopen visit. And why do you want to reopen the store visit? Inventory completed. Okay, so now we would need to, I guess, override the GPS for training purposes. And he's doing that. Okay, so let's service the store. We'll do another invoice. We're going to DSD. We're going to go to deliveries. All right, let's bring in some items. So we're going to our green action button, the plus sign there. We'll go to SKUs, and we're going to bring in a 41436. All right, let's bring in 2 of those. All right, let's also go back to SKU, and we'll do a 40737. Let's bring in 4 of those. All right, then let's go back to, and let's go to name. And we're going to bring in some sunglasses. So you could type A2, and you can see it brings up that description for A2. We're going to bring in 2 of those. Let's bring in another pair of sunglasses. Let's go by name, and we're doing an M12. And see the top M12, we'll just choose that. And we're bringing in 4 of them. So we do the wheel, choose 4, and add them. So now that's everything that we're going to bring in on this invoice. So let's back up. All right, the store's got some credits. We can go ahead and, I'll tell you what, yeah, let's go ahead and let's do credits and go to add some items. And so we can do, I'll tell you what, back up and just go to SKU. All right, let's just choose the pecan log, the second one. We're going to credit out 2 of those. And let's choose one more. And we'll do the gourmet lollipops. And they've got 3 of those that are being credited out. Okay, so that's all the credits. We're going to back up. Again, you can do a check-in ticket, and you can do a check-in ticket at different times. There's an option right here. We'll do that, and you see it pulls up a pick ticket, and it shows on there. If you'd done a pick ticket, a check-in ticket after the incoming items, it would only show the incoming items. We went ahead and entered both invoice items and credit items, so they're all showing up. So now we're going to go pull those items from our truck. We go in the store. We're doing we want to make sure that everything is correct. So as you lay your items out, you can click one by one and just make sure that I have the correct number of items laid out before I do a check-in. You could select all, or you could do individual items. Okay, so now let's back up. And let's do the check. We're done with that. So we're going to move forward, and you'll see we're previewing all the items that we're bringing in to make sure it's correct. Yes. Do you want to approve all? Yes. And we'll move forward. And here's the credit items. We're going to approve those. And green action button, moving forward. And check, we're done. Yeah, and you notice too, on the left side it says warehouse. So you got the number of items go back to the warehouse, and then you have items for restock. So we can restock a couple of items. So let's go in and restock some pecan logs. And we'll just do restock 2 items. And you can see as he restocks those that on the right side, that the left side changes, so the total number always stays the same as what you're crediting out. So we're going to click the check mark, and now the green action check mark. Okay, so now we're in our payment screen. You can see a summary of every thing that you have invoiced in the credits, and the total is $82.62. And in the top right corner, it also shows how long you've been in the store, 4 minutes and 56 seconds. Down at the bottom, you've got your options for payment. And so this is a charge customer, so click the green action button. And the customer will sign. And we're going to approve it. Now it's time to print. So we will print, and we can print just 1 copy. That's all the customer needs. And it's printing. All right, so print is successful. We'll back up out of the store. And you can see that deliveries, credits have been completed. Back up one more time. We still need to complete income service. We'll click on that. They don't need any cards today. No product needed. Okay, so let's go ahead and exit. You can see now everything is showing green and complete. So back up again. Are you done with service? Yes. So let's close. So now you can see we've been to 3 stores. The one that we just completed, we went back to, is now showing green as completed instead of yellow. So, all right, that's pretty much how the service works. I wanted to kind of look at just an overview. Let's go back to the main navigation drawer. And there, if you'll go down and look at the daily summary details. All right, click on stores. There's a list of stores that we visited today, and it shows all 3 stores that we have serviced. And it shows how much time in each store. Let's back up. Okay, a list of stores that have been done today. Excuse me, a list of orders done today. All right, so it shows all the orders, it shows the invoices, it shows the credits, and you can see the no charge in Spinks 351 done as well. Let's back up. And if we had gone to any SBT stores, then those, you see there's no record found because we didn't go to one, but it would show up there. There's Parker stores on this particular route. So you go down the list, very likely you get to the Parkers, and they would show up under SBT. And then it also, under collections, it shows the list of collections done today. And we didn't take in any cash or checks, but that's where it would show up if we had a cash customer. Okay, the next thing we want to look at is inventory. We've got 3 different categories: sellable inventory, return inventory, and inventory audit. So let's go to the sellable inventory and tap on that one. Okay, now here, what are we looking at? Up at the top, if you'll notice that all is highlighted. And so underneath it shows everything that's in your current inventory. Now, if you wanted to go to different categories and where it would separate out, you could go over to apparel or as seen on TV or whatever, and that bar, the horizontal bar, moves back and forth. You know, it's in alphabetical order. So if you were going to wireless accessories, it's way down at the end, but you can see what you have by category. Let's see what else we're looking at. At the bottom of the screen, it shows that you currently have 21 products, 3,654 total items, and $30,480 in your inventory. Okay, within the sellable inventory category, there are multiple functions you can perform. So the menu in the top right is the sellable inventory menu, and you can do a transfer here. You could place an order here. You could check in an order. You could print your inventory, and you could also sort. Tap on sort really quick. You could see there's different ways you could sort by name, either ascending or descending, and also you can sort by counts. So let's back up to that menu again. All right, let's do a transfer. Okay, so I want to do a transfer. I'm Sylvia, and I'm going to do a transfer to, say, David Hickox. All right, so we'll click on David. And comments, let's say, you know what, we've got there was a new store set that we needed to pick up in a different store. Person's going to set that store. So let's just put new store set in a comment. And now green action button. Let's start the transfer. So here you will see on the screen everything above. There's a line right in the middle, and underneath it says inventory to be transferred. So everything above that line is your inventory, and anything below the line is what you would be transferring. Obviously, we haven't transferred anything yet, so it shows that there's no products. But we want to go ahead and transfer a couple of things. So We'll do sunglass bin number 59. And
During this portion, I'll have to turn the
mhm.
screen off because the software that I'm using doesn't allow me to touch the screen since I'm doing it on a computer, and a menu will pop up that I will have to touch. So you'll see this disappear here for a second, and then you'll see the product show up in the bottom half of the screen.
Okay. Okay, so you can see that we have transferred 5 pieces of bin 59, 10 pieces of bin 60, 2.1 amp wall chargers. So that's everything we're going to transfer. So now let's complete it. Go to the green action button, and it shows up top everything now that's been transferred, and we're going to sign. So Sylvia Renee Gray would sign right there. David Hickok signs underneath. And let's complete it. We're done. Okay, and also real quick, you can see one thing I didn't mention is at the very bottom, it shows that there's 12 products that have been transferred and 12 total items. So it all rolls up to the bottom. So we'll go ahead and complete that. Green action button. Yes, complete. All right, that's how we do. Now you could print the transfer if you wanted to keep a copy for yourself and a copy for the person you're transferring to. You go ahead and print, and but we're not going to print here. We'll just go back up, and yes, we're going to exit. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at, we'll go to the menu at the top right and click on that. So we've done a transfer. Now we're going to place an order. All right, and then a similar screen, you see right now it's showing all categories together, but you could choose multiple categories, and you could pick items or that you would want to place an order on. So let's see. Let's go, I tell you what, let's go to big lighters at the top. So we need some big lighters. We're going to choose that category, and then the green action button to add items. So let's go down and to the, we could click on the item there. You can choose a quantity of what you want. Okay, so you can see that there's multiple items here that have been entered, and you know, there's multiple ways you could enter things. You know, if you wanted to do it by name, you could do it by name. He had to leave the screen to do that, but you know, similar process. You can do it by SKU, you can do it by name, whatever. So we're done with placing an order on everything that we need. We'll go to the green action button, and let's complete it. Okay, so now we have completed that. Let's go back to the menu. Okay, so we've done a transfer, we placed an order. Let's check in an order. Now, there's not going to be an order that shows up. It says no record found, but you know, it's pretty simple here. If you've got an order sitting in your warehouse, you just click here, it will populate, and then it'll show you the order transfer number, and you would tap on that, open it up, and do just your normal process for checking in an order. Nothing has changed from what we normally do there. All right, let's back up. Go back to that menu again. Let's go to the right menu. And you see, you know, there's, we've already talked about the print and the sort. So I think we've covered everything there. All right, let's go to the main, let's see. Let's go to, yeah, the main navigation. All right, we went through the sellable inventory. Let's now go into return inventory. Okay, let's look at the main screen here. The main body of the screen shows you, it would show all the items, I guess, that have been returned. There's a horizontal bar where you can choose categories. Let's see, at the bottom you would see totals that are being returned. And then at the top right, you'll find the return inventory menu. And okay, so here there's some options. The first one is restock. So we'll go ahead and let's restock. Okay, and it shows that there's no matching products, but we could pick a category and let's see, I guess go to all.
Doesn't look like we have any products that we can restock at this time.
All right, sorry about that. But what you would, everything that you could restock would show up and populate there. And so when you're doing your returns, you know, you could go through them in your warehouse and you see that the things that you would want to keep. There's some things, most things you would want to return. You can choose those items and then move the items from your returns down to the items that you want to restock. It's the same concept with the split screen. And then now we would go to complete at the bottom right if we had those items, and we complete the restock. Okay, so let's go to ship returns. Return inventory. Okay, ship returns. Okay. Now here you could tap on each line and key in the quantity that you want to return. So here, I guess you have to go through and approve these. So you go to the first one, there were 7 items. You're returning 7, so you enter 7. And you would continue down and enter the quantities for each item that you need to return. Okay, so you can see that we're returning the top 3 and we're returning all of them. So now we're going to complete an action. We're going to complete this return. And you can see that there's different ways that you can ship the return back. You can do it by UPS or FedEx, the auditor, freight, local. So let's choose auditor. Auditor's going to pick up, and let's tap on enter number of boxes. And there's 3 boxes that we're going to return. Okay, and then comments, returns. You can put whatever you need to there. Okay, go to your green action button to complete the return. Do you really want to complete the action? Yes, we want to complete it. Okay, so now looking at the screen, it shows your returns. There are 3 items to be printed. So you got options there. You can either print the inventory return, or you can print your box labels. And so you could choose, you know, if you want to do the box labels, you go ahead and change out the labels in your printer, and you click on that one and you print, or you could go into the returns and print. You know, you would turn in, I guess, a copy of the returns with your weekly paperwork, and you keep a copy. So we would print a couple of those. All right, we're done printing. Now we're backing up out of the yes, exit printing. All right, let's go to the main navigation bar. Let's see.
So it looks like we've had some help from Rebecca, and she's let me
Okay.
know that she has added some items to the restock bin. So let's see
Great.
if they show up, and there they are.
Okay. So we want to let's restock 12 of the T4s. Okay, so you can see that those 12 move from the top, from your returns down to underneath the line. You got 12 to put back in stock. Now go to the green action button. Do you want to complete your action? Yes. Okay, inventory restock, number of items to be printed, 1. So if we want to print there, we can. We'll just print a copy. Let's back up and exit printing. All right, now let's go back to the main navigation menu. And the last thing that we have not covered is inventory audit. So we'll tap on that. Okay, and here's where it shows the current inventory that's in that phone. And then the auditor would enter their email address and their auditor PIN. And we won't do an audit, but it's basically the normal audit procedures that we've been following. So we tap the green action button and then get started on the audit. Okay, so that is it, I guess, for the functions of the system. I think we're done. What questions do you have? We have any questions? I guess some people would need to be taken off of mute to ask them.
John, do you have a question? Looks like you raised your hand.
Yes, sir. I got a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. When you're going through working the store, you said, let's say the store needed 2 copies and you printed 2 copies, but you never printed one for yourself. Does that mean we don't need to print copies anymore, or are we still printing 2 for the store, or 1 for the store and 1 for us?
What we currently do has not changed at all. You can choose however many copies that you need. So if the store needs 2 copies, then do 3. So you keep 1 and the store keeps 2.
Okay.
Yes, you are still required to send in all copies of invoices with your paperwork.
Okay. It just getting clarification on that, because you just said how many the store needed. And then the second question I had, it refers to collections. If they're paying you check, does it matter if you hit check or cash, or does that really matter?
You would select check, and it'll ask you for a check number, which you can enter in.
So you have to choose this correct payment method, is what I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay. That's it.
All right. Good questions, John. Thank you. Who else?
Looks like D. Brown has a question.
Okay. Dennis, what you got?
I don't know if Dennis has audio.
Not sure, Dennis. You might be on mute.
Doesn't look like I can unmute Dennis. It only allows.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I seen where my audio was X'd out. If a regional manager or swing man is running a route and it's not downloaded as a regular route, the current software that we have, they log on and miscellaneous and just search for the stores. How is that going to change? How would we search for a store? In some cases, we want to go back and check the history of a store to see if someone has serviced it, picked up certain credits. How would that happen?
Jason, can you answer that?
Sure. So that will be set up. The routes will be set up by Rachel for those stores. As far as the store history goes, when you come back here, this functionality isn't there today, but it will be by June 4th. When you click on a store, we're adding the store history to this screen. There'll be another link that says invoice history, because that is something that you currently have in the Solary service app. So you'll be able to click here and be able to see 90 days back for all invoice and credit history. You'll also be able to see that once you enter a store. When you're inside the store at the deliveries and credit screen, invoice history will also be listed there and will show 90 days prior, so you can check on whether or not the credits have been picked up or payment has been received and what outstanding payments they have. Does that answer your question, Dennis?
Somewhat. My curiosity is that if I needed to check a store that one of my service reps has serviced outside of an area that I'm working in, how would I go about pulling that store up if it's not on my screen? How would I choose Inmark 745, for example? It's not on the screen now.
I believe you would log in as your service rep and see, and then you can go to their order history to see if it has been serviced. But I will double check on that and see if there is more functionality coming for the swing rep needs.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Dennis. Good question. What else?
David, this is Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, I have a question on the restocking the inventory. So if you go into a store and you're giving credit, say you have 3 pairs of sunglasses, 3 of the A2s. 2 of them are good. You want to put them back in your inventory. The other one's damaged. You want to send back. Now, when we were at the end of this, we were transferring the restock inventory. When that automatically transfer over when you do it in the store, or do you have to do it again a second time, like we were at the end of this and the inventory, the return inventory screen? Is that the same product that we transferred?
I believe it would, if you transfer it in the store, like put it back in stock, the 2 good items of A2s, then that should take care of it then. But if you're at the warehouse and there are some things that instead of shipping back, you want to keep, there's been some change in whatever work instructions, and we realize, man, we don't need to send this back. This shipper, we're going to put it in another store, then you could keep it.
Okay, so it was basically, you were talking about 2 different procedures. One, the
Yes.
in-store automatically goes in. The return inventory restock is not what we took from a store that's in the warehouse.
Correct.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Yes, so whenever you choose to actually go into restock, not within the credit, those are all the items you chose to send back to Sepulpa. Right now it says warehouse. I believe it's going to be changed to DC or something else, but those are the ones you choose to actually return that you're not restocking from that credit you picked up. Now, say those pieces you actually ended up needing, then you can go in after the credit's processed, and then you'll restock those into your current inventory to be able to sell again.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
What other questions do you have?
Is this, Joe again, is this going to allow us to print end of the day report as well? So we will have a copy of what we did?
Jason?
So it doesn't look like we have the ability to just print, the daily summary that you're asking for. I can submit that request to have that added.
Oh, okay, because currently that's what we're doing under our current system.
Okay. I was not aware of that, so let me get that forwarded on to our developers.
Something else throw away out of the truck.
So then the other thing that we didn't really go over too much is our order submission status. If you need to reprint something, you can always come here, and it will allow you to either email a PDF copy to the customer, or you can reprint it for your own personal use or for the customer if they lost it. But as far as the daily summary, we don't have that, but I can get that added.
Okay. And I do have another question for you.
Sure.
Currently, we have the option to use the scanner. So what you're saying now that the Oklahoma division will not be able to use the scanner on their phones?
No, it's two different things. It's a separate scanner than what's on your phone. What's on your phone is the camera, and that's what we're going to use.
Okay, so with the new Pugs lineup of products for all the racetracks and in my region, we still will be able to scan the product until we learn the barcodes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the Pugs division has a wireless Bluetooth hand scanner that's similar to the ones that are at registers, just a lot smaller. But if you click on the camera, it pulls up the camera, and the camera picks up any kind of barcodes, just like what you guys use now.
And I'll tell you that, and Jeff Merritt will back me up on this, that our first choice is always going to be to use the camera to take a picture, and because it's very easy to make errors when you're keying. So that's going to be the first choice, and then from there, choosing other options.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
John Blow, do you have a question?
I do have another one. When you were skipping that store, typically now we have to send an email to Sabrina and our regional manager and everybody. Do we still do that with this new system, or will it be taken care of via us putting in audit going on?
I would say we need to just continue the current procedures that we're doing.
Yes. I've double checked that with Jeff on our first training call, and it will continue to be business as usual, or Rachel will hunt you down and find you.
Okay. That's it for me.
Thanks, John. Hey, one thing I wanted to mention is that once we get done with this call, we go live on, I think it's Monday, June the 4th. And so between now and then, you're going to be able to go into this Dev Test app on your phone, and you can do invoices all you want. You can practice and you can do transfers, and you can do returns, and you can do incoming sales and credits and print, anything you want to do to practice and get comfortable with the process. And then once we go live, there will be a different app. It's a different color, not the little red square that you're looking at in your phone that you'll use for actual in-store. It functions the same. It's just going to be a different icon. And we'll be glad to answer more questions, but understand too, if you don't feel comfortable asking a question now, or you're not thinking of it and you think of it later, you can please call me. Call your regional manager, and we will answer your questions. And if we don't know, we'll get an answer. What other questions do you have? All right. Well, Chase,
Don, do you have another question?
No.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Jason or Rebecca, do you guys have anything else that we need to add?
I'd just like to remind everyone that we are using the CHS1 at SRP Companies login. This is the test login for the dev app that everyone will be using. I've seen a couple help desk tickets come through from reps that are saying that their logins are not working. The reason for that is that the routing department has not published your routes yet. So your routes are not built per your own territory. So everyone is using the CHS1 login at SRP Companies with the very secure PIN of 1234.
All right. Okay. Anything else? All right. Well, folks, I appreciate your time, and it's probably a lot to take in all at once. But once you get in and play with it, it's very user friendly. And you make a mistake, it's easy to back up out of things and correct. And so it's going to be a great system, and I'm excited about using it. So again, I really appreciate your time today, and let's practice and send me those questions. Thank you guys, and we're done. All right.
Thanks, David.
Talk to you later. Bye.